We've all heard of Bigfoot, Mothman, and the Loch Ness Monster. And if you've been on my channel at all, you've likely heard of the Van Meter Visitor, Chessie, and Old Three Toes. But what if these isn't like the rest? Well, Old Three Toes was a proven hoax. And today, we're going to talk about my top 5 cryptid hoaxes. Why only 5? Because no one cares about 10 to 6 unless it's quitting time. Moving on. Number 5, the fur-bearing trout. Not much to say about this one, but it's here for the hell of it. Everybody's heard of fur-bearing trout, and if you haven't, well, you have now. These long-known hoaxes are still popular today, mostly as gag gifts or trophies around the Great Lakes. For those people who claim to have seen living, furred trout, they likely saw fish affected by cotton mold, which can look like gray fur. Number 4, Fiji mermaid. Anyone out there dream of being a mermaid? Let me shatter some of those dreams, huh? Although created by fishermen in Japan and the East Indies, P.T. Barnum popularized these crimes against nature. While many mermaids of the 1800s were really just mutilated manatees and dugongs, or unfortunately malformed humans, Fijis were another thing altogether. A Fiji mermaid was made up of the torso and head of a juvenile monkey, sewn to the back half of a fish. Ew. Number 3, flying rods. These strange creatures were thought to be multidimensional beings made of plasma, or gases, or fairy dust, or hair on the lens. Anyway, they were only seen on film, be it still footage or recordings. Some people claimed they were alien probes sent to spy on us. Kinda like how crop circles were, supposedly, there to signal where aliens should land or had already landed. Ooh. Some said they were spiritual beings that meant no harm. But what were they really? Bugs. Flying insects whose multiple wing beats were captured in single frames of a camera's click, giving the appearance of a flying rod. Could have been worse. Could have been orbs. Number 2, the Cardiff Giant. Okay, this one is kind of funny. An atheist named George Hull made a fake giant out of stone to mess with Methodist Christians who claimed giants once walked the earth. Hull's giant was a hit with fundamental Christians, but during a New York exhibition, it caught the eye of P.T. Barnum. Here we go again, folks. P.T. Barnum wanted to buy the giant, but Hull refused. So, Barnum made his own giant. Then, here's where it gets really good. Hull took Barnum to court after Barnum claimed that Hull's giant was fake and that his giant was real. When the two gentlemen took their giants to court, I'm dead serious, they were both proven fakes, and the judge, the only sane person in the world apparently, ruled that Barnum couldn't be sued for calling a fake what it was, which was a fake. Number 1, Hodag. Stop laughing. We end this top 5 in Rhinelander, Wisconsin. In 1893, Eugene Shepard gathered several brave men and set out to kill the horrible beast known as a hodag, using dynamite. This frog-headed, grinning, short-legged, spear-tailed, dino-backed monstrosity was known for having a diet consisting only of white bulldogs. I'm not making this up. Shepard later claimed to have captured a different hodag, alive, about 3 years later in 1896. He then displayed it in his home. The quote-unquote living hodag was just a puppet that he made move with wires. Yet it gathered onlookers from local, state, and countrywide newspapers. However, once people from DC wanted to inspect the creature, Shepard came clean and admitted the hoax. The hodag was so popular, however, that it now has statues of it all over Rhinelander, Wisconsin. That's it for this top 5, folks. If you liked what you heard, leave a comment or subscribe and spread the news. It really helps. Seriously, send help. They won't let me leave. Remember, there's a sucker born every minute. Just don't let that sucker be you. Good night.